Hi, it's Caleb from Sedan Security here. Today I'm going to be looking at how to set up an IVS tripwire rule on the Dahua IPCs. So first thing you're going to want to do is to go into, on your NVR main menu, AI, and you can see there's two sections under the AI. So you've got AI search and AI parameters. AI search is searching any historic AI events that may have occurred. So I can go in, select D1, we want to see what's occurred today, search, no IVS tripwires today. So now we come into parameters. First thing we want to do is set the smart plan for this camera, which is on channel 1, to IVS, and hit apply. Now I'll go off back on, make sure it's saved, yeah. Now to set the tripwire rule, I'll delete one we already have. Select the channel you want to set the tripwire rule for, which is D1 in our case, and hit add. Now you can see it's populated the tripwire details there. I can also select it as an intrusion, but we'll leave it as a tripwire for now. Then you select the draw icon and draw your rule. The whole object has to cross the tripwire line, so if I did one down here for example, this wouldn't work in our scenario, because the person's head is going to be up here and it won't cross the tripwire line. So because of the viewing angle, I'm going to set a tripwire there. That way the person will cross the entire tripwire. And what I'll actually do is just make it a little bit larger so that we get the entire screen there. So now we can set our target filters. So this is the size target filter. You can see there's two squares, one small one in the center here and one larger one around the outside, which you could shrink in there. So basically what these rules say is that the tripwire will activate when an object bigger than this smallest square crosses, but the object also has to be smaller than this large square on the outside. We'll leave that full for now. We can give the rule a name. Hit OK on that one. We'll go back to draw. So you can see currently we've got an arrow going both directions here. That means that when somebody crosses this way over the tripwire or that way over the tripwire, it'll be activated. We can set one direction only, so A to B, this being A, this being B, or we can set the other direction, B to A. In our case we'll set both. Now we can move on to our AI target filters. So we can select human or motor vehicle, or both in our case, because we don't mind, but I'll untick motor vehicle because we're not going to have any cars in the room, hopefully. Then we can hit OK. Okay, so now we can double check that that's saved, and it did. Cool. Hit apply. We can also go into parameters and choose what our IVS rule will do when it's triggered. So we can set the schedule. We want it all the time. But you could set it so this tripwire was only active on Mondays between a certain hour or whatever. You can choose a local alarm, so it'll send the local alarm signal on the NVR, or choose an alarm output. We can link it to a PTZ. In our case, we will report alarm and trigger a buzzer. And we hit apply again to make sure our changes save. We come back to our home screen. This little bell icon in the top corner here, we want to make sure that that is red, saying it's enabled and armed. And then we can test our tripwire. And there you go. So that's all there is to setting up an IVS tripwire on a Dahua NVR.